Hello everyone, and thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel, Get Crafty with Sally. My name is Sally Poole. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. Today I'm going to be showing you a little bit different project than the cards that I usually make. Today I am making rosettes. So these are great for Christmas ornament type decorations, or there are other things you can do with them too, and I'll show you that towards the end of the video. I did watch some videos on YouTube about making these rosettes, and all of the ones that I watched made me kind of nervous because I think you need 3 hands to make one of these easily. So I did figure out a trick to help you put these together a little bit easier. So let me show you what you're going to need to make this. I have a piece of designer series paper, and this is actually from the Joy of Christmas pack that's coming out on Wednesday, yay, in the new mini catalog. I can hardly wait. There's also some new surprise papers that Stampin' Up! Is giving us, so I can't wait to order those. So anyway, you need a 3.5 by 12 inch piece of designer series paper. We're going to score this, and then we're going to cut it in half to make the rosette with. You're also going to need a couple little pieces of scrap paper. I have already cut my little scallops out for, would be the gold layer on this one. And I used my old Layering Circles framelits dies for these, and I think I used the second to the largest over here, yes, for that one. And then you'll need 2 other scraps of designer series paper for this, and I think I used the third from the largest on that one. So you could use your stylish shapes dies or anything you want on there. You could even use a punch. You don't have to have the 2 pieces, but I do think it looks nice and it offsets this front piece really nicely. You'll also need a little scrap for the snowflake if you want to put a snowflake on it. And I used the die from the Season of Chic set from the Chic Dies. It is this snowflake, so we'll be cutting one of those later. And then you'll also need a little piece of the Simply Elegant trim or some kind of ribbon or something to put a hanger on. I cut these in 11-inch pieces. You can try it and do whatever you want. I guess it depends on what kind of tree that you have and how much length or width you're going to need to put around your branches. You could also put the little metal hangers in here if you want that go on the tree. So let's get started with this. I am first going to score my designer series paper piece, so I'm actually going to use my scoreboard because we do have to make quite a few scores. Let me see if I can do this where you can see it. And for this, I have cut this piece at 3.5 by 12 because I need 2 inch and 3/4 pieces to make the circle for the rosette. So if you want to make more than one, you could multiply your sheet of paper in increments of 3.5. So you could cut a 7-inch piece for 2 rosettes, or a 10.5-inch piece if you wanted to do 3 of this size and score them all at the same time. So let me see if I can score this without fouling it up. I got kind of good at it doing all these rosettes, but you never know. And I did do a few where I scored it at the wrong measurement, and that's okay because you can just continue on with your 1/2 inch at the correct measurements, and you won't even see the one that you messed up. So let's make sure our paper's all lined up here. We'll do a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. And if you want to run and grab a drink or run to the bathroom, this would be a good time to do that if you don't want to watch me score all these 1/2 inch lines. Well, it doesn't really take that long, but you can see how it would be easier if you had a larger piece of paper just to continue on doing that. So that's all that we're going to need the scoreboard for. So let me grab my trimmer. And since this is 3.5 and we're going to cut it in half, we want to cut this at 1 3/4 inches. So there's our 2 pieces, and you can see that this paper is kind of directional. Most of these are going up this way, so I kind of want to try to keep the paper this way when I put it together. You don't really have to because you're not really gonna notice it that much when you put it together. Let me grab my chair. I've also got a hot glue gun heating up over here. So I'm going to take my first strip and I'm going to start folding it. Let me make sure I'm still in the camera. And I'm going to start folding it toward me on this one. So I'm going to take this piece and fold it over the front, and then the back, the front, the back, the front. And as you go along, you're going to want to kind of press these together. So let's continue folding this. I'm going to stop and give it a press. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but these are not all perfectly lined up. And of course, these 2 end pieces are a little bit longer because of the way the score marks are on the scoreboard, I'm guessing. I'm actually gonna fold this one down a little bit farther because it's sticking up pretty good. And again, it's not something that's gonna make a difference. So I'm going to give that a good press. So there's that one. So the second one, we're going to start by folding it towards the back. stop and give it a press. Okay, and I'm going to press down on it here, see if I can line it up a little bit better. And there's our second piece. So now what we need to do is put some tear and tape on here. And I'm not very good at tearing my tear and tape, so I'm going to cut off a little piece of it down here on my grid paper at about 1 3/4 inches. And I'll place it on this end. And I'll get the second one. I don't know if you can see me, but I was kind of cutting that and it might be off camera. And I always take my bone folder and give this tear and tape a press to make sure it's good and stuck to my paper. Now I'm going to take my take your pick tool, pull that little cover off. So now we're exposing the sticky part. And I'm going to take my, trying to match up, make sure these are going the same direction. And it will matter on some of your papers. It's not really going to on this one. So you want to kind of straighten these ends out a little bit so they're not so folded up. And then you're going to lay this one over the tear and tape piece, and you don't want to scoot it up far enough that you're impeding this fold, otherwise it won't fold very well. So just try to lay it on there and get it even on the sides. So there's that one, and then we'll flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. I am planning on having a craft get together in my house, at my house in October sometime, and hopefully this is something that we'll be making. The people that mainly come each year are people that I used to work with that are not really crafters. I do have a few customers that will come, so that'll be fun. Hopefully they'll enjoy making this. So then this is what we end up with. And you're going to take, it's easiest to just get a hold of it like this and then push it in with your thumbs towards the center. And then you'll get your rosette shape. So if you've watched the videos online, you'll see people trying to hold this and then glue the little centerpiece on. What I have found is if you take a lid, and this is a lid from the Best Foods giant mayonnaise jar from Costco. I have measured this paper so that it fits right inside there. So now you've got this third hand, this wonderful little holder. So let's grab our little circles and scallops and we'll glue those together. So I'm just gonna flip these over. Put a little bit of green glue on the back of the small circles. And then I have a dog snoring again. So I'm just going to, I probably should have put a different color paper behind here so I could line it up good. And you do need two of these because you're going to put one on the front and one on the back. So there's one. Let me grab a paper so you can see. All right, so now we've got our little centers. So I have found, I've got several glue guns, and the one that I'm using, I don't know, but I'm guessing I got it off of Amazon years ago. It's an AdTech high temp, and it's a large glue gun. I did try to make some of these with one of my smaller glue guns, and for some reason it didn't work very well. So you do have to be quick about this. I don't know if you've done projects with hot glue before, but you don't have a lot of time from when you apply the glue to put it on your project before it cools off. So I'm going to try to quickly get a bunch of glue on here and try to get this centered, which sometimes is not very easy. And I'm going to hold that down. You can feel how warm that is. And you can actually feel it cooling off. So what do you think about this little lid trick? I think it's pretty clever. It sure makes it a lot easier to get this done. So now I'm going to take it and flip it over. Take my other circle piece, get some more hot glue, and then we'll apply this piece to the back. I have done a couple that were just totally off center. And I have found that if you let the glue dry and you're very careful, you can pull the offending piece off, and you will have to recut your scallop in your circle and make this piece again, because you'll just have too much glue on the back of it to stick down. So there's our scallop, or excuse me, our rosette. And then next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my foam pad, and I'm just going to find a spot that looks like it could be the top, and I'm going to poke a little circle with my take your pick tool. I'm going to feed my, whoops, let me get a silver one, Simply Elegant trim through the little hole. Even it out. And I'll tie a little knot in the end of it. And it doesn't usually go that well. And I'm going to leave about an inch up here. So the next thing that I'm going to do is, I thought this would be a good time, since I added this little snowflake, I thought it would be a good time to show those of you who haven't used our adhesive strips how those work. So I've got my paper that matches this scallop circle, and I'm going to cut my snowflake on it. but I don't want to take regular glue and stick it on there because this is so delicate. I know I'll make a big mess with the glue. So I've cut this at 2¼ inches. These adhesive sheets come on a sheet that is 6 inches by 12 inches. And there are 3 2-inch strips on here. You can see that I've already used 2 of them. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my designer series paper, isn't that pretty? And I'm gonna flip it over. And I'm going to peel this strip off. And it's sticky on this side. So I'm going to flip it over, put the sticky side down on the back of the designer series paper. I'm going to lay it down on there and give it a good press. And the reason that I cut my designer series paper at 2¼ inches is because I didn't want to have a hard time trying to match this up and then having any of the sticky gummy edge of the adhesive sheet sticking out of the edge of the paper, because I don't want to run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine that way. If you do have that problem, you can cut the adhesive sheet off, but it's just easier to have this little extra buffer here. So let's grab our little cut and emboss machine, and I've got my plate 1, my plate 2. Let me find my die. Good grief. How do I lose things like that? I don't understand. It is absolutely, there it is. I put it under that sheet of paper. You were all watching and going, there it is, it's under that piece of paper. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down on my paper, put my second plate 2 on top, and I'm going to run it through. If you're going to cut something detailed like this out of just like a gold or a silver foil, it's nice to lay down a piece of just like copy paper, a little strip of copy paper over this sheet so you don't mar the surface of what's not being cut out. So you can keep that in nice shape for the next die cut that you do. So let's get that out of the way. So there's our die cut. You will have some little bits and pieces that need to be poked out. And then there's holes in the dies for you to poke through and get that started so you can get it out. And when you die cut, those little holes that are in the dies tend to make little bumps. What you can do is take your bone folder, if you want, and just gently give that a press. And those little bumps just go right away. So the hardest part of this is getting started on pulling this cling sheet off. Yay, I got lucky. So now in essence, what you've done with the adhesive sheet is made yourself a little sticker, because this has now got sticky on the back. So I'm going to line this up on my rosette circle and just lay it down and give it a press. So we'll do the back. I've already got another one cut out and ready to peel, just in case. So we'll line that one up, give it a press, and there we go. I hope you'll try these. I think they're so much fun. They are very sturdy, pretty solid when you get them all put together. So here's the original in gold, and then the one that we just did in silver. And I'll show you some other ones that I made. This one I haven't put a hanger on yet. I just wanted to show you, I don't know if you can see the edges or not. I did take a die. I used this little scallopy die from Edgelet's Adorning Accents. This is a really old set. And before I scored the paper, I had my 3.5-inch piece, cut it into the 2 strips of 1 3/4, and then I cut each edge, well, one edge of each of those 1 3/4 papers with that little die, and got this fun little edge. I thought I had some punches that had nice little designs on that, but I couldn't find them. And they're not Stampin' Up. They were EK Success or something. So anyway, that's kind of fun to do that. I do have, let's see, here's one with a Christmassy paper. More Christmas candy canes. And I think these ones that end up looking like swirls are fun. And of course the paper that does that is just diagonal lines. I will list all of the supplies needed and the paper sizes, etc. in the description below this video. And I do have photos of all of these rosettes and which designer series papers I used. So if you see something that you really like, you don't have to try and figure out which paper I used. You can just look at that PDF and find out. You could also, if you put like a solid center on here, you could stamp a greeting on it before you glued this all together. That would be nice. Or even heat emboss it in gold or silver. This is from one of the new papers that are coming out on Wednesday. Yay! Here's another one. I think a lot of you will probably recognize this paper. I thought it came out nice. This is a paper that just retired and was on the clearance rack. This is also from that pack. I love this one. This is from the crane set. I guess I should have had a list of the papers names here with me. I like this one too a lot. More Christmassy paper. Sweet as a Peach, I think that's what it was called. I love this one, although it's not very Christmassy, but it doesn't matter. If you wanted to have a orange themed Christmas tree, that would be fun. This one's kind of fun too. More Christmas paper, retired, I believe. And this one I just added 2 little pieces of red ribbon to. Here's 2 smaller ones. This is showing up really dark on the camera, it looks like. And for the smaller ones, I used these are wide mouth jar lids that I got from Costco, or excuse me, I don't know why I keep wanting to say Costco, Amazon, and I will put a link to these in the PDF, or excuse me, below the video if you want to go look for these on Amazon and make the smaller ones. Then I also made a large one, and this is a retired Halloween paper, so I thought it was kind of fun. And for the large one, I used a lid from the animal cookies that you get from Costco, that great big container. So I'll have all the measurements for that too. Here's another one of that same Halloween paper, and I have added some ribbon to it. And this is 1.5" ribbon. I also got it off of Amazon. And then here's a Christmassy one that I added the longer ribbons to. And if you want your ribbon ends to look like that, all you have to do is fold your ribbon in half and then cut your paper across there to make that nice little ribbon tail. So there's my fun way of making these rosettes. I really hope you'll give it a try. I think it's a blast. It's one of those projects that turns out to be an addiction, because before you finish the one you're working on, you'll be thinking, oh my gosh, which paper can I try next? This is so much fun. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Happy Labor Day. It is Monday, September 4th. The weather has finally cooled down here in Oregon, so it's very pleasant. So anyway, if you're enjoying my videos and getting anything out of them, please hit the like button, give me the thumbs up, share my video with your friends and family. My brothers say they watch my videos. And also, if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it. Make sure you hit the notification bell and click all so you can be alerted the next time I upload a video. Again, I thank you for your time and for stopping by my channel, and I do hope you'll give these a try. I'll see you next time. Bye.